Tonight, the dream is over. Our team never gave up, but in the end, the Toronto Blue Jays win the World Series title for the second year in a row. We'll trace the heartbreak and the joy of the Phillies' dream season next on the Channel 10 News.
WCAU-TV Philadelphia. Now, Janet Zappala, Gene Crane Weather, and Bruce Casella Sports. This is Channel 10 News.
Good evening, I'm Janet Zappala. Thanks for staying with us tonight after the game. Well, they fought the good fight, our heroes, our fantastic Phillies. But tonight, the dream season is over. The Toronto Blue Jays are indeed the world champions. There were some big plays by the Jays tonight as they saw a commanding lead fall away, then battled back to clinch their second consecutive World Series title. Of course, Joe Carter hitting the winning home run tonight. Another big play tonight was by Paul Molitor's, his home run to put the Jays far ahead of the Phils in the early going. Although the Phils showed spirit battling back, the Jays' hot bats helped them gain the winning runs needed to clinch the series. Again, the Blue Jays winning tonight after a Joe Carter home run. Final score 8-6. And the Phillies ended their dream season falling short of miracles when they needed them most. Take a look at the final play in Game 6. A towering, dramatic home run from Joe Carter. The wild thing was a little too wild for Phillies fans tonight, who barely watched the final inning. Well, win or lose, the fantastic Phillies fans have followed their team through a World Series full of tense, nail-biting games, and tonight, of course, was no different. The Channel 10 team hit the streets to see how fans held up for tonight's game. Our lineup includes Siani Lee in Winfield Heights and Steve Levy in Manayunk. First, Siani Lee.
Janet, how are you doing? As you can see, we've still got some very devoted Phillies fans here tonight. It's been a little bit of quiet here after the game, but these fans have been behind the players all night long, and you can see they still have a lot of enthusiasm. We want to get some reaction to the game now. What's your name?
Annette Parker.
Yeah, what did you think of the game tonight?
I thought it was pretty good. The Phillies had a chance to win, but they have nothing to be ashamed of. They had a good series.
Right, they had a great year, didn't they? What did you think about the game, sir?
It was a great game, but as has happened in previous games, they gave up leads, but they played it was a hard-fought effort on their part.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay.
And we're going to get them next year, right? Now, as you can hear, there are some Toronto Blue Jays fans in the background, but there is a positive spin on all this. I want you to meet Jim and Karen Birmingham. They just got married tonight. How about that? What'd you think of the game tonight?
It was a great game. We loved the series as a whole because it was so exciting, and the Phillies did a great job.
We're really proud of them for going as far as they did. They did a great season. They really did.
Well, we just want to say congratulations to you all. So there is some good news tonight. These two got married, and much success in your marriage too.
Thank you.
All right. All right. We want to tell you about a drink. All right, let me get through here, folks. Let me get through here. We want to just tell you about a special drink that we ordered up specially for the Phillies. This is for next year. We want to keep the flame going. This is called the Phillies Flame. We're going to keep it burning for you guys. So when you come home, we want to tell you that next year we want to clinch the World Series, and Steve here is going to do the honors. How about that? I think it's too quiet in here. It's too quiet in here, so let's have some music. The business. Take it away, guys. Let's get some music.
Hit the music! Music!
Are they ready? Okay. All right, the band doesn't know that we're ready to do it, but we've got plenty of parties here for you. Live at Quincy's, I'm Siani Lee. Back to you, Janet.
All right, cheers to the Phillies for a great season. And of course, the fandemonium and Phillies fever were contagious this magical season, sweeping throughout the entire Delaware Valley. Channel 10 Steve Levy is in Manayunk right now with another group of Philly fanatics. Hi, Steve.
Janet, I think I heard you said hi. They don't look sad. We're at the Flat Rock Saloon in Manayunk. It is one of several stops we made. Calm down, stay calm. We made several stops to see if during the game when the Phillies were falling behind, if the fans were getting down. That first stop was in Mount Airy.
Toronto is going to win this game.
You like Toronto?
Absolutely.
And you from Toronto too?
Absolutely. I'm from Saskatchewan, so I'm a Blue Jays fan.
Hey, these guys like Toronto.
Next stop, Manayunk and the Pitcher's Pub, where they had no doubt.
No, we ain't scared at all, man. Phillies are a late inning team. Without 3 runs, how many times they lost by 3 runs? This year? Not at all.
Still gonna win.
Still gonna win. Big win.
Next stop, they're still keeping the faith. Do you have any doubt?
No.
Why?
Because this is Philadelphia.
So Philadelphia means you win?
That's right.
They'll come
No
back.
way. They're gonna do it.
Come back.
All the way.
All the way.
All the way.
Started to step out, then step back in toward the pitch and watch ball 2 sink blown away.
We're back live in Manio. I don't think they're sad. Hey, do we get them next year? Do we congratulate Toronto? They didn't hear me. I hope you did. Steve Gazer reporting live from Manio. Janet?
Thank you very much, Steve. Another member of the Channel 10 team joins us now live from the Sky Dome with a post-game look at those amazing Phils. Channel 10's Ron Burke joining us from the Sky Dome in Toronto with more on one heck of a game tonight. Hello, Ron.
Hello, Janet. We're looking at Pat Borders of the Blue Jays, who is celebrating with the crowd. Quite a moment here in Sky Dome, as many of these fans have stayed around in anticipation of what is happening right now. Players coming onto the field with the championship trophy, meeting and greeting their fans. What a wild game, what a wild series, and an incredible moment right here as the Blue Jays celebrate their 2nd consecutive World Series. It comes at the hands of the Phillies, who fought hard, who fought strong, but in the end came up just short in their quest for a World Series title. Let's take you into the Phil's clubhouse just moments ago and moments after this game, a dejected bunch reflecting on the moment that just occurred. The Phillies players, of course, looking to hammer home a World Series title, and it just was not to be. And right now we have Pat Borders with us. Pat, what were you tthinking when Joe Carter hit that blast?
Well, I knew it was gone the moment left his bat. I didn't even see it hit the back wall or the second deck, wherever it went out at. Before it left the infield, I knew it was gone, and I believe I beat Ricky Henderson out toward home plate.
Compare the feeling this year to last year. The Phillies, a gritty bunch that really fought you tough and hard at times.
Yeah, you can't say enough about how much they don't give up. You know, they scare you how much they come to the plate, and it doesn't matter if they're down 5 runs or up 5 runs, or they act like they're up. You know, you figure that down, was it 5-1, I believe, they come back and score that many runs in the late innings like that. You got to be impressed with their fortitude and drive like that.
Well, Pat, congratulations to you on your 2nd World Series.
Thank you.
All right, Pat Borders, the Toronto Blue Jays catcher. And we're going to have a little more later on coming up in sports. Big Al will be joining me, and we'll have more from Sky Dome at that time. Reporting live from Toronto, this is Ron Burke. Janet?
We'll look forward to hearing more from you. Thank you very much, Ron. Well, Phillies fans kept the faith, hoping against hope that the team could come back from the 3-1 game deficit. The Phillies needed tonight's win, of course, to get a step closer to joining the World Series comeback club. The Royals did it in 1985. The Pirates did it twice, in 1925 and then again in 1979. The Tigers made up the difference in 1968, while the Yankees did the same in 1958. A disappointing end, of course, to an incredible season. Before Phillies fans could get too depressed, though, Channel 10's Bruce Casella takes a look back on a series of games that most people didn't expect the Phillies to play. Bruce.
I'll tell you, I'm a little bit upset now. It was a great season for the Phillies, and you couldn't have asked for anything more. Winning tonight would have been nice, but it was still a series that none of us will ever forget. Let's go back now to Game 1 in Toronto. The key to this game was missed opportunities and poor defense. Milt Thompson and Lenny Dykstra misplay the fly ball, and Toronto won that game 8-5. Second game, an unlikely hero, Jim Eisenreich, connected on this pitch with 2 men on, a 3-run shot to right. Phils go on to win that game 6-3. Now let's go to Game 3. We move to rainy Philadelphia. Toronto jumps on the Phils early. Paul Molitor, a triple and a home run, 3 RBI. Blue Jays win 10-3 and have a 2-1 lead in the series. Game 4 was a wild one. Curt Schilling could hardly watch as Mitch Williams gave up this hit to Devon White. Toronto scored 6 runs in the 8th to stun the crowd of the Phillies. Toronto won 15-14. Now to Game 5. The hero is Curt Schilling. He pitches a 2-0 complete game as the Phillies stay alive to play another 5-hit shutout for Curt Schilling. To Game 6 and back to Toronto. Here is the big blow. A 3-run home run by Joe Carter The final 8-6 Toronto. Well, the Phillies lose the series 4-2, a team that went from last place a year ago all the way to the World Series. It's been great. Thanks, guys.
It really has been wonderful, and even though they lost tonight, we will never forget 1993.
Definitely
It's been fabulous. By the way, a lot of people want to know when the Phils are coming back to Philadelphia so you can greet them. Well, we should tell you tonight that Mark Pesch, manager of the Philadelphia Airport, he's in conjunction with the Phillies organization, the Philadelphia Police Department, and the airport. They all say, don't tell you when they're coming in because they're concerned for the security of the fans. So we apologize for that, but perhaps it's for the betterment of everyone. As we continue tonight, stay with us. More news. A terrorist bomb rattles Belfast. More on the unrest in Northern Ireland when we continue. And the shock jock takes the literary world by storm. We'll have more on a new chapter in Howard Stern's life when we continue. Stay with us. A case of child abuse in Delaware County has a father charged with assault tonight. A 15-year-old teenager with a 25-pound weight chained to his feet dragged himself into the Clifton Heights police station yesterday. He told police that his father had chained him up and beaten him for 2 days. The teen had been living with his father since his parents' divorce about a year ago. Tonight, the teenager is in his mother's custody. A 2-year-old remains in fair condition at this hour after being accidentally shot by his brother. It happened yesterday inside this house in North Philadelphia. Investigators say 4-year-old Terrence Perdue on the left was taking a gun away from his little brother when the gun went off, hitting 2-year-old Antonio in the chest. In Norristown tonight, the search is on for 2 suspects who brutally raped the same woman on the same night. Here's a composite sketch of the first man who allegedly carjacked a woman at gunpoint last night in Norristown, raped her, then stole her car. The woman says she was then approached by this man who offered to let her use his phone to call for help. He then allegedly raped her at knife point. If you've seen any of these men, these 2 men, you're asked to contact the local police. And tonight, police are investigating a car accident that sends 5 people to the hospital. Channel 10 cameras on the scene in West Philadelphia. Police say a car and van collided on the 1500 block of Grays Ferry. 5 people injured, some taken to Hahnemann Hospital in Center City. 1 little girl was treated and released. The rest are expected to be released sometime this morning. A homecoming celebration turns violent at Lincoln University in Lower Oxford Township. Fight broke out among hundreds of students gathered in the school gym last night. State police were called in, but school administrators were able to break up the outburst on their own. A security guard suffered minor injuries. Now in the Channel 10 news around the world at this hour, a deadly bombing and vows of revenge. The streets of Northern Ireland were bloodied after a bomb exploded at the former headquarters of the Ulster Defence Association. 9 people killed, including 2 children, and 50 people were wounded. The IRA has taken responsibility for the blast. The Protestant Ulster Defence Association says a heavy price will be paid for the attack. In India, tension continues a day after government security forces crushed a pro-separatist demonstration with gunfire and tear gas. At least 38 Muslims were killed. The dead were holding a demonstration to support armed militants holed up in a holy Muslim shrine. And in outer space, the crew of the space shuttle Columbia is continuing its medical research on the effects of weightlessness on humans. Today, they began experiments on 48 lab rats to learn more about blood chemistry. And the king of shock radio had his fans standing in the streets today. Howard Stern is famous for his words, and that's exactly what his fans were after today. Channel 10's Bill Baldini now has more on the Stern word.
The lines went on and on and on. It snaked down South Street, over 4th Street, and up and around a few others. Thousands showed up to see radio guru Howard Stern.
Howard Stern is every man in this audience's alter ego.
Yeah.
And this is how men think, and Howard tells the truth.
Some arrived at 5 last night just to make sure they would get a copy of Private Parts and a Stern autograph. The book was selling out, and even Jay Leno of The Tonight Show came to pay his respects to Stern and also get a copy of the book. Thanks. When Stern finally met the crowd, he sang, he waved, and then he thanked the multitude before going inside to sign hundreds, maybe thousands of autographs. I asked Howard what he attributes his fame to.
The fact that, I don't pull any punches. I tell people what I feel, and I think they like that. They're kind of sick of the showbiz phoniness.
I also asked some fans and Howard about his putting down women and minorities on the radio.
He needs to work on his black accent a little bit, but
see, nobody laughs anymore.
It's a joke.
He cuts down the Jewish population, but I am Jewish, but we laugh with it. I listen to him every morning, but I don't tell anybody.
Now here's an interesting note. On the radio, Howard Stern appears to be rude and crude, but inside that store, he was thoughtful and polite. Therefore, the question, who is the real Howard Stern? I don't know. Bill Baldini, Channel 10 News.
We're all dying to find out. Channel 10 News continues right after this. Stay with us. We love today. Weather-wise, how about tomorrow, Gene?
Another one, a carbon copy. That's an old weather expression, a carbon copy. All right, let's look at the stats if we can. The low this morning was 41 degrees. The high this afternoon, 62 degrees. We're down to 49, humidity 68%. The barometer is steady, and the winds are fairly mild out of the west. Okay, and here's the map. The satellite, latest satellite. Would you believe this is a satellite? Nothing. We're going to have a super October Sunday. All right, the weather forecast for tomorrow. Tonight, first, clear, lowest 35 in the suburbs, 42 in town. And then tomorrow, that beautiful Sunday, sunny with a high of 68. The 5-day looks pretty good, except for a Wednesday. It's going to stay nice on Monday. Look at that, 70, 72 on Tuesday. Then a chance of showers on Wednesday. And then that'll break the temperature. Gets back to 60, where it should be right now on Thursday. Variable cloudiness. But tomorrow, a beautiful Sunday for October. Enjoy. Janet?
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Gene. And, of course, we'll come back with more World Series news right after this. A lot to talk about tonight, sports-wise. Here's Bruce Casella.
Very sad night for Phillies fans. I'll tell you, it's a very disappointing loss. A game that the Phillies showed to the world. They had courage, lion courage, never say die attitude, but just couldn't hold on. They fell very short in the pitching department. Pretty sad about this. Let's go now live to Toronto, where Ron Burke is standing live. No, it's Al Meltzer. Al, tell you what, they just couldn't pull through in the pitching department, could they, Big Al?
No, and I'll tell you one thing. I am a reporter, so I have objectivity, but I am also a fan. And the toughest job in the world was tonight, when Channel 10 cameras, the first to get into the locker room, and the scene tells the whole story. The Joe Carter home run went off like a bomb, and the season ended abruptly. The toughest possible way to end a season. And maybe the toughest job in the world is to go into that locker room and talk to the players, because this is a moment they're never going to forget. And of course, the first guy you go to, who else but the guy that threw the pitch that Joe Carter nailed, Mitch Williams. And he answered the question.
In that situation, you try and stay away from a hitter's strength. He's an inside hitter. He gets bad down and in on the ball. If I get it up and away and make the pitch I want to make, I got a chance to get him out. I'm not saying he ain't going to hit that pitch out either, but I didn't make the pitch I wanted to make in that situation. He hit it out.
I mean, we showed all the heart and character that we have all year by battling back, and we were 2 outs away from going 7 games. And it was a great game. I mean, we came up a little short, and like I said, sometimes you got to tip your hat to the other side. I mean, Joe Carter got a huge hit, and Molitor. You know, there's one thing I learned from this series, and that's Paul Molitor can hit.
We celebrated with them in 1980 when they won their first World Championship. In 1983, losing to the Orioles, not entirely unexpected, actually. But this one, they thought they had come back all the way. It was going to be a Phillies night and a Phillies tomorrow. But it's all over. Back to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm starting to get a little bit of a smile. It'll happen soon. Let's take a look now at the highlights of Game 6 of the World Series. An incredible game that left us all a little empty inside. Let's go back now to the beginning. Blue Jays hit starter Terry Mulholland early and often first inning. Paul Molitor gets a hold of this one and sends the ball deep. It's good for a triple, scoring Devon White 1-zip Jays. It was 2-0 when Roberto Alomar singled in John Olerud, and just like that, it's 3-zip Toronto. 4th inning now. The Phils finally get on the board. Jim Eisenreich singles to center. Darren Dalton comes home. It's 3-1 Jays. To the 5th we go now. Paul Molitor gets all of this one. It is gone. The left field Jays lead now 5-1. Things are looking very bad. But the Phils erupt in the 7th. Lenny Dykstra. A huge shot right here. A 3-run home run to right. Phils down by just a run at 5-4. Then a big hit for the slumping Dave Hollins. He goes up the middle as Mariano Duncan ties the game at 5. Pete Incaviglia then comes in to pinch hit, and he will sacrifice Hollins in to give the Phillies a 6-5 lead. Phils batted around in the inning. To the 8th, the Phils were in a jam here. David West and Larry Anderson had the bases loaded, but they get out of the inning here. In the bottom of the 9th, off of Mitch Williams, it's Joe Carter.
And still world champions, the Toronto Blue Jays.
8-6 the final. Toronto wins. Flyers lost tonight by a score of 9-6. Not good for the Philly teams tonight in Philadelphia.
But the Philadelphia Phillies certainly gave us some wonderful moments.
They sure did.
All right, thanks, Bruce. And that does it for us tonight. For Steve, Gene, Bruce, the entire Channel 10 News team, I'm Janet Zappala. Thank you for watching. And by the way, if you don't normally watch us, thanks for switching to the Channel 10 News tonight. We sincerely hope you'll become a regular viewer. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Good night.